All right, Shalom, Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Peace and blessings to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. First and foremost, we want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, who we know as Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, who we know as Yahweh Shai. But the world knows Him as Jesus Christ, right? Shout out to the sister Mary of Bethany that anointed Yahweh Shai. And also shout out to our ancestors that lost their lives behind keeping our laws, statutes, and commandments. That wasn't willing to compromise. They rather died than to serve idols and break God's laws. So pray we always remember under them. Today, Wednesday, man. So we coming with a Wisdom Wednesday. And this lesson gonna be called Impression Matters. And I think this is very important, man, just throughout life. But this video gonna be mainly talking to us in the faith, but mainly throughout life as well too, man. Impression matters. First impression matters. How you carry yourself, just the things that you do when people first meet you, when they come across you, or they may hear you for the first time. Those things matter, man. So Lord willing, this video be edifying to brothers, sisters, children, whoever willing to receive it. But before we get into this thing, I'm gonna play the blowing of the shofar, and I also got a short lesson I'm gonna play, or a short video I'm gonna play that goes along with the lesson. And we are the hopeful elect, by the way. I don't know if I said that. We are the hopeful elect. All praise. Got it. Khan. All praise to the Most High, man, for the mighty blowing of the shofar. And here's the lesson I sent to myself. It says the importance of the first impression. So let's click on this thing.
In a first impression, others see only a little sample of you guys, a tiny percentage of your life. That sample represents 100% of what they know about you. While you've had a lifetime of experiences with yourself, you know the full range of your emotions, behaviors, passions, and fears. But strangers don't know anything about you at all. That tiny sample of you is all they have to work with, guys. Therefore, they will unconsciously assume that the sample is an accurate representation of all of you. Research has shown that people weigh initial information much more heavily than later information, guys, especially when they're evaluating people. It's a simple fact, guys. The first information people get about a person influences the way they process later information and treat that person. Therefore, it's important to learn skills to gain control over the image you project. To learn how, just watch my videos, guys.
Could y'all hear that? Okay, Khan. Let me get a preset real quick. Because impression matters, man. I really made this. I was thinking about us that go out and street teach. My bad. I was thinking about. Let me get the NLT. I was thinking about us that go out and street teach, man. The importance of first impression when people come across, the Israelites for the first time. A lot of people kind of get a bad taste in their mouth when it comes to a lot of brothers that be out teaching. But when you go out there, you representing the Most High, and you want to leave our people with, like you said, they never ran into Israelites and they run into your camp. You want to leave them satisfied. You know what I'm saying? You want to leave them. You want them to feel like, okay, I heard bad about these Israelites, but all of them ain't like that, because I'm talking to these brothers. They very they very respectful. Yes sir. No sir. They engaging. in the conversation. They letting you speak. They're not yelling over you. They look uniformed. You know what I'm saying? They you can tell that they love what they doing. And I think that's very important for a person to see you for their first time when you out there doing the work of the Lord doing the work of the Lord for the Lord. We must make sure that we setting a good example, for first comers. But whoever, we can do it from top to bottom. Whoever at the top can read first. Can y'all see my screen? Okay.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 15 through 16. Instead, you must worship Christ as Lord of your life. And if someone asks about your hope as a believer, always be ready to explain it. But do this in a gentle and respectful way. Keep your conscience clear. Then, if people speak against you, they will be ashamed. And when they see what a good life you live, because you belong to Christ.
So our goal should be, as we walk in this walk of faith, it should be to be blameless as possible. That should be one of our goals in this walk, to be blameless as possible. So nobody don't have nothing bad to say about you. They can't say, oh, so-and-so was disrespectful. Oh, so-and-so don't know how to talk to people. Oh, so-and-so they vain and carnal. All right, so-and-so only in it for money. People shouldn't be able to say these things about you if you're moving like Christ. And that's our main goal, to be blameless as possible. So if you're a brother and you go out and spread the gospel, your goal and your congregation goal is to be blameless as possible, man. So nobody won't lead the conversation having something bad to say. And you're gonna have some people that may have something bad to say anyway, rather they hate, they just scoffers. Scoffers be coming out of nowhere sometime, and you can't really, they're gonna say what they say. But to the average person, they shouldn't have nothing to say about you and how you handle situations. Because when you are talking, when you are teaching, you have to know how to communicate with people. A lot of people be out teaching, but they don't know how to communicate with people. They don't know how to let a person speak and then respond. It's like they start talking over people, then that person start talking over him, and then it's like all you hearing is blah 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 blah. So you have to have communication. You have to know how to communicate, with people. I want to see. Can I don't know. I can't see if somebody raising their hand or not because I'm on my screen share. So if y'all just stop me if y'all got something to say. Like, kind of cut me off. I'm looking at the scriptures. But yeah, he said, but do this. My bad. He's saying, if someone asks about your hope as a believer, always be ready to explain it, but do this in a gentle and respectful way. You can answer somebody's question in a respectful way, even when someone trying to debate you or have a disagreement with you when it like about scriptures or something like that. They may disagree and then they want to have a discussion and it might lead to a debate. You can answer a person in a respectful way even when you're debating. It don't have to get out of hand. Y'all can have just a disagreement and y'all handle it as men, and it's still a respect on both ends. Keep your conscience clear. Then if people speak against you, they will be ashamed when they see what a good life you live. So you make people speak against you. They always out there teaching. I bet they don't live what they preach. They always out there every Saturday, but I bet they don't live what they preach. Then when they actually get to know you or they see you outside of teaching, they like, dang, he do what he is sincere. He ain't taking no money from nobody. He doing it from the kindness of his heart. So it's like, that's how we gotta want to be looked, man. And first impressions matter, and impression matter. So I'm gonna get this scripture real quick. Matthew Do I want to start at 5? Matthew 5:14 through 16 for the next person that's up.
Matthew 5, starting at verse 14, it says, "Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven."
Right, man. So we were created to be the light of the world. You know, and when you have a light that's within you, you can't hide it. You know, that light was made to show, right? It was made to shine, not made to be hid. So we have a light that's within us. We have different gifts that the Most High blessed us with to push His ministry, to push His truth. So being a light of the world, everyone should see it, not just us. You know, people that come around you, people that may have listened to you teach. And this goes for men and women, not even just men, women as well too. You know, as women, you should be want to be blameless as possible. And a first impression when someone comes to you and you are a woman in His faith, when they come to you, they should have nothing to say about you. Oh, I don't know what just happened, but yeah, she very respectful. She very soft spoken. She's very caring. She's very loving. So they should say kindness about our women as well too, because they were made to be lights on this earth as well too. But it said, "Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven." So even when we out there teaching, right, our people and even the other nations, right, they should see us out there teaching and how we carry ourselves, and they should be like, that should make them want to glorify our God, right? That when they see how we carry ourselves, that should make them be like, dang, these the people of the book. They so wise when it comes to the Bible. They so understanding, right? They know they know what they're doing. And that should make them glorify the Lord, man, that's in heaven, because we coming in His name. And how we carry ourselves reflect on Him. So we out there acting like animals and acting like we don't got no manners and just throwing F bombs and B bombs and just calling women whores and, you know, just fighting everybody at camp, fighting everybody, spitting on people, over talking people. You know what I'm saying? All type of stuff that you shouldn't do. That's gonna reflect on the Lord. Y'all can't be serving the God of the Bible. Cause I didn't never see Christ doing those stuff in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? I didn't never see Christ doing those, acting like that in the scriptures, trying to fight everybody. You know, I never seen Him do it. So y'all must not be serving the God of the Bible. But if you go out there in the fruits of the Spirit, when you go out there respectful and you're understanding, then people will be like, okay, dang, what y'all, who y'all God is? You said Yahweh. Man, praise Yahweh, man. Hey, I can see Him working through y'all, man. Or hey, y'all keep doing what y'all doing, right? So that's how it's supposed to be when we out there teaching the word, man. But get this real quick.
Come on, man, you know, gotta have a good first impression, because people judge you off of your countenance a lot of times, man. Just your aura, or what people say nowadays, aura farming, right? They can pick up off of your aura, off of your spirit, right? And a lot of that just comes with off rip, your first impression, right? So that's why A lot of times, man, your first impression is all you have for somebody to have a lasting memory of you in their head. That's why brothers always want to smell nice. Hey, what's that cologne you got? You might not even remember the brother's name, but you remember what his cologne smelled like. Man, that cologne smelled good. So that first impression, right, leaves a lasting imprint on your memory. So like the brother Obadiah is saying, man, your first impression, if you're going to be given this word of the Most High God, doing the work of the Lord, being an ambassador for him, right, a spokesman for him, you got to be able to leave an impression, right? That's what a good salesman will do too. A good salesman will pretty much have you mesmerized just by how good his first impression is. And you might be randomly working right throughout the week, and then he just popped into your head. Why? Because his first impression left a lasting imprint on you. So that's what we got to work on, man. And the Bible clearly states how to do it. It shows you how to do that, right? It gives you advice on how to do that. So Khan.
Con.
I was gonna ask you, I don't know, what was that the first precept we read? 1 Peter 2?
What you said?
1 Peter 2?
You said what precept I just brought out?
1 Peter 2.
No, he's saying, wasn't that one of the first precepts that we read?
First Peter 3.
Can you go 1 Peter 2 and 12?
1 Peter 2 and 12.
12.
Can y'all not hear me? Do I sound like muffled?
I can hear you.
Yeah, you did. You did. I can hear you a little louder now. Say something.
Something.
Okay, you good. First Peter 2 and 12. Having your conversation. Oh, you mean read it for you, King?
Con, you can go ahead.
Having your conversation honest among the Gentiles, that whereas
Wait. Salakia, you can start at verse 11.
verse 11. Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts, which war against the soul. Having your conversation honest among the Gentiles, that whereas they speak against you as evildoers, they may by your good works, which they shall behold, glorify God in the day of your visitation.
Like the brother Obadiah was just going into, this is a scripture that you could refer to kind of show you how it should really be. You know, we should always have our conversation honest, even amongst those people who are not our people, because at the end of the day, the one thing that can come from it is them glorifying the name of our God, and that's what we want in its totality at the end, for the entirety of the earth to be submissive to the will of the Father. This is not going into a lesson about Gentile salvation. This is me saying that this is me saying that when it boils down to it, right, the way we win souls over is by, having the fruits of the Spirit. And the only way you could have the fruits of the Spirit is if you walking in the Spirit and meditating on the Spirit every day, right? Even in simple conversation, right? Because, and I'll say this in closing, the brothers on the screen, man, we went into restaurants and was having biblical discussion, and I mean heated discussion. We was arguing the Bible, but nonetheless, it was righteous conversation. And we've had people who are not our people just come up and be like, I just wanted to let y'all know that what y'all doing is really blessing. I pray that God blesses you. I pray that you all keep doing what you're doing, right? And that's how it should be, because again, impression matters. And what we give people, even when they don't know us, is sometimes all they'll remember.
Con, man, that's a good point. And I was gonna say too, even this, it doesn't matter, but it do matter. Just try to look uniform when you out there, teaching for the Lord, man, because people pay attention to those things as well too. How you dress, if they see that we all, you out there got a congregation and all y'all matched, all y'all dressed the same and y'all in order, and y'all may have, got the coconut oil on your face, you know what I'm saying? Look like you want to be out there. Don't just go out there any type of way. You still got crust in your eyes. You just woke up. You just going out there. You got shirt tucked in the front, then on the sides is tucked out, then you got different pair of shoes on, you got Air Force Ones on one foot, and then you got slides on the other foot, and like you just like you all over the place. No, man, look like you want to be out there, because people pay attention to that. And who we out there for? We of course we're out there for the Lord, but we also out there for our people. So we know what our people like and what they pay attention to. So we have to go out there and be that get that good impression to them, to make them want to come back again, to make them want to stay and listen longer to what we're saying.
Man. Just to piggyback or let me back on two things that the brother said. Dressing unified, it shows a sense of humility, and it takes away a lot of distractions. The same thing why they do it for schools and stuff like that, for school uniforms and stuff like that. But it keeps the main thing, right? So nobody's out trying to outdress the other person, right? We all should be, we all come in the same way. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, it shows that we're there for a purpose that's bigger than us. You know what I'm saying? Also, when you pay attention, the Bible says, prepare what thou sayest before thou say it. Same thing for actions before you even show up. You should be preparing yourself before you're about to go wherever you're about to go. If I'm going to the gym, I'm not going to show up in church slacks. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm going to the gym and be prepared for it. So what you put on before you go out and teach this Bible, right? Like the brother said, if you go out knowing that you want to be a good representation, you got clean stuff on, you ain't got no stains on you. You got the same pair of shoes on both feet. It lets people know, and it keeps your mind going that you're out there for a reason and you're taking it serious, right? You want to take it serious, no matter, where you are when you're teaching this Bible, and you want to be a good ambassador and good representation of the Lord.
Con. Good point. So can the brother give me Titus 2, verse 7 through 8?
Is it back on Azrael?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
The book of Titus, chapter 2, verses 7 through 8. And all things showing thyself a pattern of good works, and doctrine showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you.
So right, man. So he's saying basically like, have good works, a pattern. It shouldn't be something that you just do 1 or 2 times. Have good works, gravity, uncorruptness, sincerity. Because people can see if you're sincere or not. People can see these things. Your work. They even when you think people don't pay attention to these things, they pay attention to what you do. And there may be people that you don't even think watching, but they watching. They watching to see if you're gonna be diligent and you're gonna continue to go out there and teach. They watching to see if you're gonna continue to upload videos every week. Right, they watching to see are you being sincere, or are you doing it for views? People watching it and they paying attention, and they can tell the difference between people that's doing it, that's doing this thing not in sincerity and truth, and people that's doing it in sincerity and truth. It says sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you. So even when we speak, bro, we got to make sure that we nobody can even condemn what we saying. You have people out here that wait on you to slip up. They waiting to condemn you. Like they waiting for you to mess up so they can say something about you and gossip and slander your name. But if your speech always sound, it's like, dang, they can't find nothing to say about you. So they're ashamed because they can't find no evil. They're ashamed because they can't find no evil within you. And that's how we should be. That's how we should push to be in this walk. We should want people to be like, dang, you so and so, yeah, I know him, bro. He's so cool, man. That brother genuine, but that brother always looking out. That brother, he love the people, man. Right, he'll give his clothes on his back. Right, that's how you should want to be. That's how you should want your name to be talked about. You shouldn't want to be like, oh, him. Man, I don't know. I've been hearing stuff. He done got into a couple fights. They say he taking money, behind the scenes. They say, he ain't really sincere. He teaching for views and comments. You don't want your name to be like that. He always in the mix. You don't want your name to be like that. And women, vice versa with women. You don't want your name to be like that either. You don't want people to talk about, oh yeah, she gossip all the time. Like, yeah, she gossip all the time. She got a husband and she talking to another man. She always got her face all on social media showing her backside. You don't want people to be able to say this about you. You don't want that. You want people to be able to speak positive on your name as a woman of God, man. But yeah, let me get this scripture real quick. You want people to be able to when it comes to you and your name, you want people to speak positive about. Not saying that you a man pleaser, and not saying you doing it for man, because you can do it for the Lord. You can be, doing these things for the Lord, and people just gonna talk about your name regardless. You're doing it for the Lord, and they see that they're gonna speak positive for your name anyway because you're doing it for the Lord. But that shouldn't be our main reason of doing it, is to please man and want man to speak good about us. And if they ain't speaking good about us, then we're all in our feelings. But can the brother get Proverbs 22:1?
This is Proverbs 22 and verse number 1. And it says, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold.
Right. It said a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. So it's very important to have a good name, not even just a good name. Well, you're not only just a good name for yourself, but also a good name for the congregation that you with. Because if your congregation got a bad name, people ain't gonna want to join it. Right? People gonna talk about it. But if your congregation that you have is blameless and nobody really can't say nothing about your congregation, y'all stay out the mix, it's like, that's good, man. That's how you should want to be. That's how you should want your name to be. Or even not even just you. If you had a wife or you got a husband, you got kids, you should want people to have nothing to say bad about them. And if they is saying something bad, it should be false. It should be a made up lie. Other than that, everything is, is well said. But yeah, a good name is rather to be chosen, because once you stay in your name, it's hard to come back from that.
It is.
Once you stay in your name, man, and everybody knows, like, especially if you was if you was somebody that people knew, like you was a person that a lot of people knew, right? And you mess around and do something bad, it's gonna be hard to come back from that. It don't matter what you do. You can even say you repented for it, and you could have repented for it, but people still gonna have that in the back of their mind, like, you did some flawed stuff. And it's gonna be hard for them to listen to you or listen to anything you said because of what you did.
Yeah. One thing my mom always taught me, man, was, in life, a few things, man. Just like the brother said, if you've ever been caught up in a lie in the public, people will always know you as a liar. If you ever been caught stealing something, people will always label you as a thief. Even if you apologize, even if you repent, people are always going to hold their stuff close to them. If something goes missing, you're the first one people are going to think about, right?
So, Lakia, real quick, don't mean to cut you off. I was going to say something about that last precept you just brought up, Obadiah, after Denal.
right.
Yeah, you can go ahead. I was just pretty much emphasizing that point that the brother Obadiah mentioned, man, that choose your decisions wisely, choose your actions wisely, man, because a lot of times, man, you only get one time. A lot of people miss all the good that you do, but that one thing that's bad is gonna stick out like a sore thumb, and that's what they're gonna remember.
It's real.
Man, about this precept, I was gonna say, man, I remember watching a minute ago. It was a minute ago, but I remember it was a video that was popular circulating, and somebody was asking the question, would you rather, he was like, would you rather have $100,000 cash, or would you rather like, I don't know what he said, be friends with 100 people that are wealthy or something like that. And some people be like, give me the 100,000 cash, man. I'll invest, I'll do whatever. But a lot of people that were smart, that were already wealthy, was like, well, give me the 100 friends that are wealthy, because I know for a fact, like, if I have 100 friends that are wealthy, I'll never be broke, right? And that's letting you know that a friend, right? Meaning, if you're a friend, that means you have somewhat of a good reputation among those people or among those peers, right? That reputation is going to supersede money and wealth. Why? Because when you're broke, your reputation will provide for you. If you have a good reputation, people will stick their neck out for you. If you have a good reputation, people will provide for you. People will help you. If you have a good reputation, people will stick up for you in rooms where you're not in, right? And so that's what it also means too, by a reputation is better than silver or gold or riches, because your reputation, man, it can have people spending their riches on you, right? Just like, when we look at Esther, right? The king said, whatever you want, I'm going to give it to you, right? She could come from nothing. Her and Mordecai could have been broke, They could have been, living in the slums. But because she got a good reputation with the king, right? Same thing with Mordecai. Because you have a good reputation with the king, whatever he has, you have, right? So reputations, man, they mean everything. That's why, we go out there and we have a good reputation with the police officers, with the security guards. We have a good reputation with the people at the parking meters. We got a good reputation with these people because we know that's going to benefit us in the future. That's being prudent, right? There's no point in cussing them out and calling them the red man and Esau and all that. There's no point in doing that. First of all, it's going to go over their head. Second of all, it's in the day of trouble, you're going to be, your adversary is going to put you in prison because you didn't build a good reputation with him, man. So Khan,
man, what the brother's saying real, man, is wise. Right, the brother ain't saying, he not saying this because he's scared. How you have some people be like, oh, he's scared. He a coon, brother. You a coon, brother. He's not saying that because he's a coon, man. The brother's he's giving wisdom. And let me get this this verse. Our goal is not to go out to the streets or wherever you go out and teach at and make enemies. You know what I'm saying? That's not the goal. Our goal ain't to go out there and make enemies. Can a brother read verse 16?
This is Matthew 10 and verse 16. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves.
Right. So this Christ speaking, man. He's telling you, he sent us forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. So we are sheep, and we the lost sheep in the midst of wolves. So if you know that you're in the midst of wolves, and these people got power over your life, and they in control of what's going on, right? Not even just the heathen, but a lot of our people are wolves too, right? A lot of Israelites are wolves too, man. That want to kill us. You know, the brother we out there at camp. The brother Denal, man, brother got threatened twice. No, brother say, hey man, if I ain't have it, if I ain't have no money right now, I lay you down. And the other brother say, hey man, hey, let me get your phone, bro. Nah. Brother came and asked everybody, you know, let me hold your phone. Can I hold y'all? No, he said, can I hold your phone? Can I hold your phone? Then the brother Denal said, nah, you can't, you know, basically can't hold my phone. And then the brother went to the next brother on the line. And then I think the brother Denal said, you know, why, you know, what you need it for? He like, what he said? What he said?
Nah, I can't even repeat it, man.
Yeah, just know, man. Your own people are wolves as well too, and that they prey on you as well. So that's why we have to use wisdom when we amongst the wolves. And using wisdom is agreeing with your adversary quickly, like the scriptures say. Because if you don't, man, you're gonna get yourself thrown in prison. And you're gonna get yourself thrown in prison before your time. Because we know prophecy said that a lot of us gonna get thrown in prison. But you can get thrown in prison before your time because you wasn't wise, right? You wasn't wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. You went out hot style, man.
Go
ahead.
You already got Romans 12 in your list?
No.
You can get Romans 12 and 18 real quick. Because, you know, another video I used to see, man, was when, you know, the YN culture was just starting up. They used to have a bunch of older people, you know, making videos like, you know, pull up to the gas station, see a YN. How you doing today, sir? And I'm talking about the older person saying that to the young ninja, the young brother. You know what I'm saying? How you doing today, fellas? I can do anything for y'all. Y'all doing all right? Y'all want something out the stove? Because they don't want to die before their time, right? They're agreeing with their adversary quickly, man. They making you know what I'm saying? So they're reading the room. But that's good advice from the Bible too. This is Romans 12 and verse 18. It says, if it be possible, sometimes you can have a good reputation and people still hate on you. Sometimes you can have a good reputation and people still want to lay you down. Sometimes you can have a good reputation and people they don't care. They just want to be your adversary, right? They want to be adversarial. They want to be a contrarian to you, even though you're not doing nothing wrong. But it says, if it is possible, as much as it lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Live peaceably with all men, right? So how do you live peaceably with all men? That's not screaming at them. That's not peaceable. That's not telling them to get down and lick your boot. That's not peaceable, right? And even if you think it's peaceable, it's not peaceable to somebody that may be watching and that don't understand. It might be a stumbling block. So that's not peaceable, right? You gotta try to be peaceable with all men. If they haven't disrespected you, don't go out your way to disrespect them first. Just because you have a complex or because you're compensating for something, right? It says if it's in you and if it's possible, and we know I can do all things through Christ. If it's possible, be peaceable with all men. That's part of a good reputation, man. Man, whenever I go around them brothers, it's all love. When I go around, I may not disagree with them brothers, man, but I can sit there and hear their side, man, because you know them brothers let me speak. We've had homosexuals say, you know what, go ahead and give your speak because you guys are the first people I've listened to that, you know, wasn't chewing me out and y'all let me get my opinions out. So I'll listen to y'all. Why is that? And they'll say stuff like, you know, every time I see y'all, man, I'm gonna stop by and say what's up. I'm gonna stop by and see what y'all got to say for today. Why? Because of that first impression, right? That impression matters, man. That reputation matters.
Yeah, man. Even when it, you know, even when it comes to like the brother saying about the boot, Romans. Oh, I'm tripping. I just seen the text in the chat. That's why I was looking at. But yeah, even when it comes about the boot, right? You know, when you are teaching, you know, as brothers are teaching, we have to be mindful of the people that's around that may offend, because people on the outside looking in, they don't really know this. A lot of people don't really know the scriptures like that. So it's good to be wise so you don't offend them, because they don't know what's going on. Even when so-called cuss words, right? We know cuss words aren't a sin. We know these words are man-made, right? But a lot of people look at cuss words, they got a bad taste in their mouth, especially the older generation. When they see younger people cussing, especially when it revolved around the Bible. So just don't cuss. When you out teaching like that, have the potty mouth, because you can offend the sheep. Right? You can have an elder, or you have an elder walk by, and you cuss, you going crazy, you cussing. You know what I'm saying? You saying the H word, the B word, just all type of stuff, like going back and forth, straight cussing. Now they gonna just look at it like you cussing, but we know that's not nothing. They just words, but to other people, it rubs a lot of people the wrong way. So we got to be mindful of the sheep, and we shouldn't do certain things not because it's not a sin. We also should do it, or shouldn't do it, because it's gonna offend the sheep, man. We have to be thinking how they think, how we used to think before we came into the knowledge.
Hey, your reputation should be so good that people change around you, right? Your reputation should be so good that people say, if they slip up and curse, they should be like, my fault, bro, my fault. I didn't mean to say that, right? That's how good your reputation should be. Your reputation should be so good. Brothers is pulling up their pants if they was sagging them when they talking to you. Your reputation should be so good when girls talking to you, they know for a fact you're not trying to get in their pants, right? And what are they? They should be doing this. If they're not wearing no clothes, they should be doing this in front of you. That's how good your reputation should be, spotless and blameless, to make everybody want to clean up their act, right? Your reputation should be like that. Your reputation should be, spotless and blameless. Even they may not even know your life. They may not even know that you cuss. They may not even know that you don't even really care about whatever, right? But let them find that out through conversation, not off of your first impression, right? Your first impression should have somebody that's smoking a cigarette put the cigarette out. Let me put this out real quick. I don't want this lit while I'm talking to y'all.
Yet not in knowledge.
Huh?
Yeah, broke up.
I said, what if I be rude in speech, but yet not in knowledge, bro?
You say you be rude in speech.
You got to be seasoned in your speech.
That's weird.
Sometimes not. And brothers say that, right? But sometimes.
He's saying.
Sometimes, okay. Yeah. Some brothers say that, bro. And the thing is this: if you want to use that argument, I don't believe it's meaning that, but if you want to use that argument to brothers that say that, it's like, bro, yeah, that may be true, but what's more important, your pride or winning somebody over, right? What's more important, being right? Because Job talks about that, right? How right are forcible words? What's more important, being right or winning somebody's soul, right?
Can y'all hear me now?
Colin, we can hear you before. That first time you had just broke up, right?
But I was saying the same thing. Like, I was saying the same thing you saying. When you go read 2 Corinthians 11:6, man, and people be like, but what if I be rude in speech yet not in knowledge? But I agree with the brother Azrael. It's not necessarily talking about, you using foul language, right? Because when I first came into the truth, that was one of the precepts I would use that people would, not 11:6.
2 Corinthians.
Yeah, 2 Corinthians 11:6. Yeah, 2 Corinthians 11:6. Yeah, that was 1 Corinthians. Let me see. Go down. But it says, but though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, but we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things, right? So I used to use this precept to kind of justify some of the foul language I would use in teaching the word, talking to people, right? But in reality, that's not saying necessarily, though you be rude in speech, as in though you cuss a lot, right? It was kind of going into like what Paul was saying was kind of throwing people off, right? They couldn't really grasp what the I guess you could say the understanding of what he meant. They thought he was teaching something wrong. So that's why I was saying, though I be rude in speech, but nonetheless, again, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something, right? I'm gonna just say that. You may be feeling like when you come into the truth, right, you find out, oh, cuss words isn't really a sin. Yet at the same time, man, it talks a lot about the tongue in Sirach and how certain words, right, they really make the hair stand up on the skin. Like it's kind of like irksome to hear. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a pest in your ear.
Wow, man. And you just like the brothers were saying, when you go to that word rude in the Blue Letter Bible or in the concordance, it's gonna say ignorant, right? So a lot of people think that word means rude to be like, though I may sound disrespectful, but it really is talking about though I may sound ignorant. He's saying though I may sound ignorant or lacking in knowledge, best believe that I know what I'm talking about. Although
Rudimentary.
sounds like I'm rudimentary, right? Although it sounds like I'm rudimentary, I don't know what I'm talking about. Best believe I know what I'm talking about. That's what he was saying. When you actually look
but
at
like
and so
like I was saying too, if brothers even want to use that approach, let's play devil's advocate and give that to you, right? Bro, if they're just gonna walk away from you, it doesn't matter what knowledge you have, they're not getting it because they just walked away from you.
right. So you gotta think like when you go out there and we're fishers of men, you're not, and when you a fisherman, bro, and you know what type of fish you want to get, you're not gonna go throw a bait that you know is gonna repel the fish that you want, right?
Like you just
and then blame the fish.
I just spent all this money on a swim bait, right? A soft swim bait. I just spent $70 on this bait, and I can't wait to use it. But I know for a fact it's jigging weather, right? It's not swim bait weather. It's jig bait weather. But I'm gonna throw the swim bait anyway because I'm so excited. I don't care if the fish don't bite. I'm gonna throw it. You just
right.
you know that.
You go home with no bites, and you talking about something. Yeah, the fish weren't biting today because you wanted to do what you wanted to do. You didn't change with the environment that you was in. You didn't change to appeal to the sheep that you were trying to catch, man. And you know what Christ said about offending the little ones? You might as well tie a great millstone around your neck, man, and be cast into the sea. You know what I'm saying? The little ones are these lost sheep out here, and a lot of us offend them and think, and we blame them for getting offended. But when we're supposed to be apt to teach, instructing those that oppose themselves, right? We're instructing people that don't even know that they're doing damage to themselves. We got to be the bigger person, not them.
It's not necessarily always about the things we say, right? Again, the way you know what I'm saying, present yourself matters a lot too. And it's not necessarily going into the understanding of having a fresh haircut all the time, right? Because some brothers do the Nazarite vow. Some people just believe you shouldn't have a razor upon your head, right? But more so, just like the brother was going into, looking uniform, not having your pants sagging, you know, not necessarily looking like just who did it and why when you go out and teach the word, because again, you're always a representation of someone greater than yourself, and that's the Most High, right? So you always got to kind of remember that impression matters too. And brothers will tell you, man, low key, I'm always wearing some Hopeful Elect gear every single day. You know what I'm saying? We got 2 shirts. I'm not gonna lie, I wear my shirts in a rotation. Yes, they do get washed, but I kind of wear my shirts in a rotation because it's just like everywhere I go, not only do the fringes on the shirts kind of help me make sure I'm staying in the right spirit, right, as serving its purpose, as it says in Numbers 15, but also, man, it's because again, this organization is not necessarily just an organization that you do cosplay with. You know, we represent something, and that's every time we go to camp, and the spirit we in at camp when we're wearing our camp shirts is kind of how we need to always be 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Every day of our lives, right? You should technically never want to leave camp in a spiritual sense, right? If you feel like you're the most mightiest at camp, then you should be the most mightiest when you're not at camp, right? That's what I'm trying to allude to.
Yeah. Don't just be at camp mighty. Even when you go home, take that spirit home with you, man. That's my point. So this is the last precept I had. Any brother can get it. 1 John chapter 1 and verse 47 through 49.
This is First John chapter 1, starting at verse number 47. Can you move that highlight? Well,
Oh yeah, my bad.
yeah, color it. But this is First John chapter 1, starting at verse 47, and it says, I'm reading it as written. It says, Jesus saw Nathanael coming to him and saith of him, Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. Nathanael saith unto him, Whence knowest thou me? Jesus answered and said unto him, Before that Philip called thee, when thou wast under the fig tree, I saw thee. Nathanael answered and said unto him, Rabbi, thou art the Son of God, thou art the King of Israel.
So man, verse 47 was really the key point I wanted. It said, Yahweh saw Nathanael coming to him, and he said of him, Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. So that's how we should want people to be able to what they say to us, man. Oh, that's so and so, man. Yeah, that bro. I miss you, bro. I ain't seen you in a minute, man. People should, like, when you walk up, like when you pull up on them, it should bring joy in they inside. Like, yeah, bro, I got a brother, man. Not only a brother in the truth, but a sincere brother, man. A brother that really ain't got nothing bad to say about him. He always there when you need him. He always giving arms. He always checking up on brothers. Like, dang, that's my dog right there. So that's basically how we should want to be, man. This is Christ. Christ saying this to Nathanael. You're like, man, bro. Israelite, this brother here, man. This brother mighty, man. This brother ain't got no guile. He's straight about business. And Nathanael, like, how you know me? So, but yeah, man, it's good. That's how important your name is, man, because it can be passed. It can be passed on if you have children. Just say you have a good name, and people may not even know your kids. They may have never seen your kids, but they gonna just assume that your kids are well-behaved kids because of you, because how you was raised up. So they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, I know so and so. I think there's a scripture in Tobit, I want to say, how it was like, hey, can somebody find that for me real quick? I got that scripture in Tobit, how they was like, yeah, I know. He was like, I know, your parents, I know you good, roughly paraphrasing, but it's in Tobit. That just shows you how good it is to have a good name, man. But until then, can somebody read Daniel 6:4 for me?
The book of Daniel, chapter 6 and verse 4, it says, Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault, for as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him.
So it wasn't no fault or no error found in Daniel. Even the same, with Yahweh Shah when he was on trial. They were like, they were trying to accuse him of stuff, but it's like they couldn't, man. They couldn't find no fault in him. Same with Daniel, they couldn't find no fault. They were trying to get him caught up, couldn't find no fault. Like he was on it. So that's how we read about our ancestors.
It's Tobit 7, starting at verse 4 through 7.
You said Tobit?
Yeah. Tobit 7, starting at verse 4 through 7.
Kind of, man. That's even the heathens was confounded about how we wanted to crucify who the world calls Jesus, man. It was like, man, I don't see nothing wrong with him, man. Y'all sure y'all want me to do this? You know what I'm saying? So even the heathen could see that, he was a blameless man.
Yeah, yep. I'll save that till at the end of the very end of the video, my ending comments. Tobit chapter 7 and verse 4. Then he said to them, do you know Tobit, our kinsman? And they said, we know him. Then said he, is he in good health? And he said, he is both alive and in good health. And Tobias said, he is my father. Then Raguel leaped up and kissed him and wept. And verse 7 says, and blessed him and said unto him, thou art the son of an honest and good man. But when he had heard that Tobit was blind, he was sorrowful and wept.
Right, man. So he got praised by how his dad character was.
He greeted him with a kiss because
he greeted him with and it ain't no kiss, no homosexual kiss either. It's a kiss probably either on the cheek or it was on the forehead, and that's a sign of respect and love for a person. Now that was something that a lot of our men did in the ancient world. A lot of people in other countries still do it as well too. They greet other men that they love and have respect for with a holy kiss. Yeah, man. So it's like he got respect and greeted with a holy kiss because of who his dad was. So your dad play a part, and your parents play a part in how the kids can get looked at as well too. Because if your dad was, he always in your dad always stayed in trouble, in and out of jail. Then your mom, she was a stripper, and they may look at the kids like they're gonna look at the kids kind of funny, like but if the parents were upright and honest, then was in what we say in the church, they'll look at the kids completely different. You know what I'm saying? They have respect for the kids because of how their parents were, how their parents raised them. But man, hey, all praise to the Most High, man, for allowing us to get into this Wisdom Wednesday, man. Hope y'all learned something today through the Spirit. Hope y'all got something out of it, man, through the Spirit. But yeah, man, pressure matters. Any brother had any closing remark before I close out?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, man, hey, this is the reason. Now we know that the world's gonna hate us because it first hated him being Yahushua Christ. But this is the reason why being an Israelite has a bad name now, and nobody can listen to us now, and nobody will believe us now, is because we have not made a good first impression, right? For there may be some good excuses for why we haven't made a good first impression. There may be, wrong situation, wrong time, or whatever. But if we were blameless and we had made a good reputation to begin with, people wouldn't have anything bad to say about us, right? They would have to take us serious. They would have to have conversations with us. They'd have to give us compliments on how we carry ourselves, right? I see Malcolm X on people's shirts all the time, and Malcolm X's viewpoint on race was all over the place, right? There's people in Nation of Islam, that's bold with it and brave with their bow ties on. Nobody ever says anything bad about them, and everybody knows that they're racist, right? They won, anti-Semites of the year, Farrakhan did. So the thing is this, they have a good reputation. So it's not the doctrine. It's not you as a person. It's your delivery and it's your impression. You got to change that because look, it already says, am I not become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Am I therefore your enemy because I tell you the truth? The truth is already gonna make adversaries and enemies. You got to do your best part to kind of give a just weight. If the truth is gonna make enemies, you gotta give it in a good way to where they second guessing, like, did I like this? Should I not? My flesh is telling me I don't like this, but my spirit is telling me it's the truth. So that's what you gotta come in and be. You gotta be an ambassador. You gotta be a spokesman for the Lord, right? And you have to reason in the synagogue with the Jews and the Greeks and compel them to come into the truth. But good lesson.
We didn't street homeless that we talk to just because of encounters they have.
Y'all can hear him?
In and out.
I'm in and out.
Yeah, you was in and out, King.
For some reason, I
What
think
about now?
your microphone has to like calibrate your voice for when you start speaking.
What about now? Am I in and out?
Now you good now.
Okay, cool. So I'll repeat what I was saying. You know, we on the street corners, we've had a lot of occasions where people didn't want to come and talk to us because of encounters that they had with other Israelites, right? But we've also had people that stayed and listened to us because they didn't allow their encounter with other Israelites to, you know, cloud their judgment about talking to the next handful. So I'm saying that to say we as a people, you know, that teach the Bible have to be just in our delivery because, like the brother said, the truth is already going to be enough, right? It's already enough fuel to add to the fire. They may disagree with you, and you can say things in the nicest way. And we've had encounters like that before, you know, we've had encounters like that before. So, all in all, we just have to make sure that we're responsible with how we're leaving the image of Israelite in people's heads. Because while we understand that, you know, at times we have to be bold, while we understand, you know, at times we can get passionate, they don't understand a lot about what we understand. So we have to make them understand. And the only way we can do that is by reasoning with them, right? Having compassion, meeting them where they're at, and controlling our emotions in the heat of the moment, right? Like the brother Denal always say, sometimes Israelites struggle because they don't live in the moment. You know, sometimes you just got to live in the moment, right? And be present in the moment, be aware in that moment, knowing what's going on, knowing how to handle things so that way you can produce the best result. And when you look back on the conversation, when you look back on the situation, you can say that you really left a good stain, right? You didn't err, you didn't cause offense, right? You did everything the right way because, again, you can still do everything right and they not accept. So it's not necessarily about doing everything right for them to accept. It's about doing everything right. That way you could be found just when you reflect on that situation. But like the brother said, mighty lesson, man, much needed. Lord willing, people are edified, right?
All praise to the Most High, man. Yeah, impression matters. So, brothers and sisters, always remember how you carry yourself matters. The things that you say matter. You don't think people not paying attention because they are. They might not say nothing. They might not come to you and tell you that they paying attention and that they watch your videos and that you inspire them, but you do. So just
Too. Hey, look, that's a good point. Not to drag it, but hey, sometimes people just waiting. You may be having a good impression all the time, and there's always gonna be them people that's just waiting and listening that you don't know, that's waiting and listening for you to not have a good impression, so that they can go and tell, oh, look what he's doing. So that's even more of a reason for you to stay on your P's and Q's, because somebody might be preying on your downfall.
Yep. That's facts, man. That's facts. So yeah, man, we the hopeful elect. Gonna sign out, man. Want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, who we know as Yahweh. In the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, we say until next time, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. Kwam Yasharala.
Kwon Yasharala.